We'll crack on. So from Team SCA, Sam Davies, Don Funk Race Team, Charles Cordelier, from Mapfrey, Ika Martinez, Brunel, Bauer Becking, Team Alva Medica, Charlie Enright, Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing, Ian Walker, and Team Vestas Wind, Chris Nicholson. So welcome guys and girls. I'm just going to... Okay, so we'll start the press conference. I'm just going to open with a few questions, and then I'm going to open the floor. So, Ian, I'll start with you. Again, huge congratulations on the unassailable position that you have at the moment. I spoke to you on the dock when you arrived into Lorient. It seemed a little bit like a sort of dream for you at that point. Now you've had a few days to process it and to really think about it. How does it feel now?
Well, it's obviously been great to have so many sort of people saying well done and nice, hundreds of emails, and there are obviously good discussions with sponsors, and there's generally a very good feeling. But as a team, we've kind of decided that we haven't finished the race yet. We've still got another leg. We still want to do well in this leg, so we're trying to put that aside, and we're preparing just like we have done for every other leg. And I think we owe that to all the competitors as well, because there's a very tight fight going on behind us, and how we sail and what we do can influence that. So yeah, we're just going to go out like we have done in every leg and do the best we can.
What's the reaction been like in Abu Dhabi?
Well, it's been huge. It's been front page of the papers, and the team are going to fly straight to Abu Dhabi as soon as we can from Gothenburg, and hopefully we'll see it firsthand.
Okay, thank you. Charlie, so if we can just talk about when you first started in double mic. When you first started in Alicante, did you ever think that you might be fighting for second place?
There we go. Interesting question, but I'd like to think yes. Even though we didn't really know what to expect when we kind of got into this mess. I mean, you enter races to win, so that's what we've been trying to do the whole time. Incrementally improve as the legs go on, and we've had some up and downs in the last couple legs, but we're definitely in striking distance, and we're like Ian said, I think we're just trying to prepare for this leg, albeit fragmented and short, just like we did all the rest of the legs. Try to get there's 2 opportunities to score points left, this leg and then the Gothenburg import, and we're focused pretty hard on making sure we capitalize on both of them.
And what would it mean? I know you don't like to focus on you as a skipper, of course it is a team effort, but what would it mean to you as a skipper for the first time in the race and the first time as skipper to be on the podium for the Volvo Ocean Race for this edition?
Well, it'd be a great accomplishment, certainly. We put a lot into this, both, Mark, myself initially, and then the rest of the team, when we, started this whole thing together just barely over a year ago. It'd be great, it really would. It would mean a lot to us, and a feeling of accomplishment, but also a feeling of, we've learned so much. If only we knew what we knew now when we started, so I think we'd be hungry to do another one, and, correct some of the things that maybe we could have done wrong and execute on all the things we've learned, so it'd be great. So we're still working hard and still focused on the 2 points that we have left.
Okay, thank you, and congratulations on the import yesterday. Bauer. So the pit stop in The Hague, it's not the end of a leg, it's almost the middle of a leg. But is that almost a homecoming for you? And what would it mean are you gunning for first over the line, the timeline in The Hague?
Well, of course, it's hugely important for us. We know we wouldn't have been there if there wouldn't have been a pit stop, so I think I have to say that first. But yeah, it's not a homecoming for myself because I'm living in Denmark, but of course it's a homecoming for the team, and of course I'm still Dutch. And we know it's going to be huge over there. I think other competitors will be surprised. I think from the outturn coming over there. So yeah, I'm looking really much forward to it. It will be crazy. So I rather arrive Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, 2 hours before we leave again, because then we have it relatively easy. But yeah, it will be, I think, a big happening.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you manage the psychology of this leg? Because it's got a break in the middle of it. It must be very different to any of the other legs.
Well, I don't think so, because once you arrive in Scheveningen, you just the guy who goes first leaves first again. So I think you just have to take it from there, because it's all about Gothenburg. Of course, it will be nice to come first in Scheveningen, but the points are only in Gothenburg there. So that will be just a big thing. That's why I say I'd rather arrive late, because then you can just keep focusing on the race. Because now there is a big chance, of course, that you start drifting away. You have to find that right balance. But it's all in the end of Gothenburg, and I think the second part will be, of course, the decisive part, because the forecast as well looks changing quite a bit, but it's all about Gothenburg in that sense. So just try to keep the guys focused as much as possible.
Thank you. Ike, Mapfre came into the campaign very late. There's been some penalties that have been given, the 3 penalties for different reasons to Mapfre, but you're still you're still in contention for second place or third, dependent on what happens. Do you think that those setbacks have actually driven the team more?
No, you can understand that we are completely pissed off with the penalties, and we are still fighting with it. So today is going to be a big day for us on that sense. So we are not agree at all, and we shouldn't be here talking about these penalties, because these are around the world race, and it should be more easy. Today we're still with Amendment 7 coming, and I think for all the navigators it's pretty difficult to do so much work. No? But yeah, we have to leave it in one side. So once we are in land, this race is too difficult. Once we are in the water, in the ocean, it's much more easy for us, because we're sailors and we know how to manage with our boat. So I'm looking forward to go out sailing and have the easy part. As soon as we're going to be out in the water, we're going to fight as hard as we can. It will be a little bit more difficult, the second place or Brunel, because they have some more points, but we can try. And we are more close to Donfen. We know that they are very competitive, and on the back we have Albimedica, so I think it's going to be a very interesting leg where for us as sailors and being on the water, that is the good part. I think we're going to have some fun.
Thanks, Ika. So Charles, let's talk about the penalties. We brought that up. You and Sam, well, the teams got penalties on not the last leg before. There were a lot of exclusion zones coming up in this leg. I mean, what have you learned, and how do you ensure that that doesn't affect the campaign again?
We have learned it's not clear, and I hope it will be clear when we leave. Lorient, over. I don't speak anymore, but it's not interesting.
Okay, good. So on board, Charles, the freshwater water maker that you've had 2 legs now. You've had issues with that. Does that concern you going in? Is it fixed? Are you happy with that moving forward now?
Yes, we know we break it, so we made a mistake, so I don't think it will happen. Usually it's very reliable system, so we have just been unlucky on like 5 or 6, but this time it was our mistake.
Okay, thank you. Sam, the crew that you sailed on the last leg with, are you sticking with that crew going in, the winning crew going into the final leg? And if you are, can you explain why?
Yes, but it's nothing to do with the fact that we won the last leg. It was a decision that we made in Lisbon, because this stopover is so short, and we have a rotation system for the crew. We decided that it was too short to switch people, and we wanted to keep the momentum from Lisbon through to the end of Gothenburg. So yeah, it was a choice that we made. In a way, ever since we won in Abu Dhabi in the import race, we kept the same import crew, so I actually made a compromise, because by keeping the same crew we had on the last leg, it means that we can't have our winning import crew neither here nor in Gothenburg. So yeah, it's always compromises, choices to make, and it's a really hard decision as well, because it doesn't make any difference who we have on board. We would have won that leg if we'd have had Dean and Sarah with us as much as we won it with the crew we had. So I think that's the strength of Team SCA, is that we can rotate, we can switch people in and out, and it doesn't change any way that we sail. We've got a really strong squad. It was more just a question of the rapidity of the race and the short stopover to keep it going. And luckily, everybody's fit and healthy, so no reason to change for injury or illness either, touch wood. But yeah, it's hard, and I think it's really hard for Dee and Sarah not to do the final leg. I think that's the one that everybody wants to do, and that's one thing I always stress, is that we are a team, and they're part of the team, and they're up on the stage with us in every prize giving. So we do everything we can to keep ourselves one big team, no matter who's on the boat and who's on the shore.
Thank you.
You can bring 2 guests, you know that, so you can bring them as guests. At least have the experience.
That is not actually a bad shout. Sam?
No, we did think about that, and someone asked me a question to bring a guest, but then there's a question of weight on board as well, so we have to look at every option.
Take less stackable weight, put 2 girls in the back.
Sam, no, I'm joking. Nico, it looks like there's going to be a lot of upwind sailing in this leg. Do you think that's going to suit the team? It seemed to suit it in the last leg.
Yeah, like the upwind was, I think, fairly neutral. I think for all the teams, the way the breeze panned out, we went, I guess, more the correct direction than some of the other teams. So no, I don't think that'll have a factor. I hope there's quite a lot of crew work and manoeuvres, because obviously our guys are, I think, a lot fresher than a lot of the teams that are, you know, pretty much worn down from a long, hard Volvo. So that's kind of the direction I hope that it plays.
Do you think that as a team or as a skipper you've reset your vision for the next leg because of what happened, the overall standings in the last leg?
No, not really. Like, you know, we were pleasantly surprised by being runner-up in the last leg. But, you know, the goal was always to do as best as we could, and that still remains, and I think that's the same for all the teams.
Thank you. Ian, this looks like it's going to be a pretty tricky leg. There's a lot to take into consideration. Would you just talk us through your key concerns for this leg?
Well, I mean, the first thing is we don't actually know what the course is yet. We're hoping they'll tell us what the course is, because we may or may not have to sail around Quiberon. And that will have a big effect on the timing at Ushant. You know, if we mess around too much here, then we'll miss the tide at Ushant, and then it'll become a much longer leg. As you said, it looks quite light, initially, but the weather forecast has improved. I'm hoping that we get to cross the channel and sail down the English coast, because I know that a lot better than the French coast. And it's tricky. The last bit is very tricky. That's, you know, this is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, and there's not a lot of space when you sort of exclude all the shipping lanes. There's really not a lot of space. So you know, we're going to be sailing in very confined waters as we get closer and closer to The Hague. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the weather looks pretty nice, and I'm sure that'll keep the boats close together. So it's, you know, we're going to be close together and sort of sailing up a funnel that sort of drops us into The Hague.
Doesn't sound like too much fun. Power, in your experience, do you think that this final leg is the hardest leg?
No, I don't think so. Maybe pressure-wise, for the guys who are still fighting for second, it will be a tough one. But the nights will get shorter and shorter, and that's, I think, especially for the guys who haven't been up there, it's just a fantastic experience. If you're just getting like at 11:30, it gets a bit dusk. So at 11:30 it starts getting a bit dark, and like at 12:30 you can get the newspaper back out again and start reading it. So I think that's really some of the nice things. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off in that sense, like if you have to do manoeuvres. So the sailing is actually fantastic going up north.
Okay, thank you. And Charles, been here, been at home almost. Have you been able to enjoy it, and can you give some of your views on the stopover and how it's been here?
I was happy to be there, but it's not easy because I have all my friends, my family, and we are busy, and you have no time, and you want to give them some time, but you cannot, so you are very frustrated. So I'm waiting for the end of the race to come back here and have real holidays at home.
So, Bauer, is there any possibility of being able to cover 3 boats? Or is it really just a case of sailing your own race on this leg?
No, of course you have to look where the other guys are going. if Abu Dhabi goes hard left, let them go. Let them enjoy the party by themselves. Of course, we're going to stay with Dongfeng and with Mafra and with Alva Medica as much as possible. But if Alva Medica decides to go left as well, and Mafra and Dongfeng go to the right, then you have to make a choice, of course. So, and then just take it how it is at that moment.
Nico and Sam, is there any option on this leg for you to do something different? And if there is, would you take it?
I think it could always help us when the boats are covering each other, taking each other out. In terms of options, I'm not sure how many we're going to have. As Ian says, we're still waiting for the final course, and we're going to be quite confined. So there's going to be areas where it's always going to be a procession, and then there won't be any choice or any options. But yeah, for sure, if the other guys decide to all take each other out, then we're not going to wait for them, we'll sail past.
Nico?
I don't think we're going to be going...
Just need a mic, sorry, Nico.
I think with the race course being so restricted at the moment that everyone's going to be together, and if you are the one person going a different direction, you want to have a really, really good reason, and I can't see that happening very often in this one.
Okay, thanks. Last couple of questions, and I'm going to open the floor up. Ika, yesterday in the import race on Sam, there was some damage on board both teams' boats. Can you just give us an update on that, and is it going to be ready for sailing today for the Pro-Am and then tomorrow for the leg?
No, the boat was good. We were a little bit from the beginning. We had afraid a little bit because the boat with the guest came next to us and they said, "Wow, it's a big hole," and we were like, "What? Big hole? No way!" And but we couldn't see it because it was on the bottom. So then it was not as big as what we thought. So yeah, the guys they repaired it and the boat is perfect. So that's it. It's not a big drama.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think McFray came off worse than we did because we bent our push bit, which made the little hole in their boat, which I saw. And yeah, I want to apologise to Ika. It's our fault, our penalty, our mistake, and we did offer our shore team to help them, but I think the McFray team have repaired it, and our guys are working on our push bit, and it'll all be ready to go today.
Okay, thank you. You're flying one in, aren't you?
Apparently, I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to open the floor now. There are roving mics around if you'd like to raise your hand if you have a question. John?
It's just a question for Ika, and welcome back, Ika. How tough has it been for you? We know that pre-race you had existing commitments with the Olympic training and so on, so there was no way you could do every leg. But how much difference do you think that has made to your campaign, bearing in mind you're doing so well?
Well, it's something that we knew since the beginning. I don't know. Probably in a normal team to be changing the skipper can be something difficult. Maybe can be something that is going to give a lot of instability to a team or whatever. But ourselves we can do it because we know each other very good, and that's not a problem. So it's something that we knew since the beginning when we had the call to go into this campaign. We knew that we have some commitments, and that was the only way. Actually, when we present that, I was thinking that was not enough, and I was thinking that maybe it's gonna be a no, and will be not possible. But we have our commitment with sponsors and with other campaigns. So then we ended up in a yes, we go for it, and we knew this since the beginning. So this is a campaign that we didn't do what we wanted, but we did what we were able to do, and we tried to do as best as we were able to do. So maybe more difficult than some other times, but I think at the end we saw that this working maybe better than what we thought on the beginning. So yeah, we are pretty comfortable with this situation.
Thank you. Next question. Silence.
I was wondering if go to Scheveningen and go to or passing Denmark is some sort of a home advantage to you in protecting the second position?
Let's hope so. We know for sure I've been sailing all my life in Scheveningen, so I know the local area pretty well. And then of course been going up north quite often as well. So let's just hope we get a little bit of advantage over the other guys.
Thank you. Next question. Any more questions from the floor? Leon?
Sam, one for you. Just talk me through the confidence you and your team have taken from that great win in the last leg and going into the League 9 finally.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to make a big difference to our confidence on board. I think we felt like we were capable of doing a good result from probably leg 4 onwards, but every time we've had a little slip up, made a little mistake, got unlucky, as Charles says. So this is just confirmation, probably more for the people from the outside than from us from the inside, because we knew we could do it. But for sure, it's huge for us, and as our coaches say, it's not everyone's won a leg in the Volvo Ocean Race the first time they do it. So I don't think we've quite realised the achievement we made yet, and probably we won't realise till after the race and we've gone home and had a rest. It's a boost of confidence, and we know that the next leg's quite similar, similar length, and I'm sure it's going to help us sail well into Gothenburg.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Just to follow up to Charles. Charles, what have you said to your team about resetting yours and your team's mindset to take on the opportunities in League 9 and what it means for the final standings?
Oh, I think the most important is to have pleasure. Maybe that's what we forgot a bit. We were a bit under pressure, trying to come back for the first place and stay ahead of Brunel and the other team. But I think maybe we free ourselves more with the pleasure and forget the pressure. We have said better on the previous leg, so that's what we are going to do. We are happy. We have done a fantastic job during all this Volvo. I'm very proud of the team and of the Chinese especially. If you imagine 16 months ago, the level of the guy, and when you see them today sailing, it's just fantastic. So I think we have already some win or campaign. I mean, the result is already fantastic. So, but for sure, we will be happy to stay on the podium and maybe try to come back because I think we did a good job, and it would be difficult to leave the podium now. It's a bit late. And we are only 7 boats, so if you are not on the podium, it starts to be not a very good result.
One more for Bao. How have you used your experience throughout the race to maintain perspective despite up and down kind of results, to put yourself and your team in a position, sailing loose and maintaining the pleasure, as Charles says, to put yourself in a position to do good things at this late stage? The question is, how have you used your experience and what have you drawn on your previous campaigns to maintain a good, strong, fighting headspace?
Well, I think you just have to see it as a one-off. It's the last leg. If we win, then we're in Fat City. If we lose and Alpha Medica comes first, then we're in a really bad position. So just attack it like how you normally do. It's like a Wednesday night regatta. You want to win it, you come on the start line. And just enjoy as well the race and the competition, because it will be a games on, and it will be a good one.
Any more questions? Last chance on the floor. Any more questions? Wow. Good luck on the final leg, the Volvo Ocean Race. Thank you very much to all of our skippers. Thank you to all of the media once again.